Okay, Stig. Last Saturday, obviously against Scunthorpe, not the result that everyone wanted, but I think the winning was actually getting the game on in the first place. Getting that to go ahead with one of very few games that went ahead due to the freezing conditions. So credit to Ben and the volunteers for managing to somehow get the game to go ahead in the first place.
Yeah, it kind of was the very best of our football club, wasn't it? Really getting that game on. The match itself was a weird one. I don't think we need to dwell on that really because it was a strange. Never didn't really feel like a 5-1, but Scunthorpe were ultra clinical and deserved their win. But just to be able to watch the game of football really was just the outcome of a huge amount of work. Obviously, we had a big gang of people who gave up their time and volunteered to come in on Thursday and put the covers on the pitch for us to protect it. And then again, the same on Saturday morning. People were turning up from 10 o'clock, and we delayed the removal of the covers by sort of half an hour, 45 minutes to us not go too early. And we had a big gang of people gave up their time then, which was absolutely brilliant. And then sort of in that intervening period between 11 o'clock, we had some high comedy groundsmanship going on with a mixture of kind of like skilled people like Ben Bowen and yourself, and then absolute clowns probably like myself. And I don't want to call George a clown because he won't be very happy, but like we'd had director Mike Langford had been on the covers, and then you had myself and George and Darren on our hands and knees in the goal mouth trying to defrost it with electric heaters. We had the manager on an emergency run to a nearby supermarket to go and get a couple more heaters so we could get at the frost patches. But yeah, no, it was just a brilliant team effort by everybody involved, led by Ben and yourself. And the reality is that just makes a huge difference. If we'd have lost that game on Saturday and it had been moved to a Tuesday night, the likelihood is the crowd would have been smaller, so you'd have lost money in potential ticket sales. And with that, a smaller crowd would have meant quieter bars probably on a Tuesday night, and the knock-on effect of the spends in and around the club and stuff. So, it's difficult to quantify, but you're talking several £1,000s more probably that the club have brought in as a result of getting that game in on a Saturday. And just want to thank everybody who contributed in some way to helping us get that game on, because it's a huge boost to the club and a real help to us. Clearly, the result didn't go our way in the end, but in some ways that was a little bit irrelevant really in terms of what had gone in around the game, to be honest. And I know Paul was hugely impressed and hugely grateful to everybody that had helped, and he'd been involved. So yeah, no, it was like I said, it was the best of our club really. That was getting that game on.
Yeah, I think we've seen before in the past where games have got moved to a Tuesday night. Let alone the logistical nightmare of trying to refund people that can't make the rearranged game. Obviously, the drop in ticket sales, the drop in club shop sales, the drop in bar sales. Yeah, it's kind of really important to try wherever possible to get the game on. Also, credit to the referee because he gave every chance that he could for us to get that game on. He was on a video call at 7:30 in the morning. He came and had a look at the pitch at 11, pointed out the areas he wasn't quite happy with, and it allowed Ben and everyone time to get to work. And when he came back, he made a point of saying he'd done a fantastic job. So yeah, credit to everyone really. A really good moment. Just a shame about the result, but last night we kind of put that to bed, didn't we?
Yeah, no, it was an important fixture, and they're all important, aren't they? It's all cliche, but last night just felt important off the back of Saturday's disappointment. It was just, came up against us, so I was impressed with Warrington. I know the circumstances around the game in the end went against them a little bit. I don't think they'd sort of anyone else to blame but themselves for that. But I thought second half, they defended brilliantly. They were organised. They almost adopted the only tactic that was available to them with 9 men, which was almost crowd the centre of the field and the penalty area and defend for your lives and that sort of stuff, and made it really difficult. But actually, in some ways it was a shame because the first 20 minutes it looked like this is going to be a good game, because it was two teams looking to have a go and looking to, proper game of football. But then that kind of rather stupid sending off kind of obviously tilted the balance our way. And in fairness, we could have scored 4 in that period where they had 10 men. On another day, we could easily have gone clear in that period anyway. And watched it again this morning, and I mean, Cowles' overhead quick kick was absolutely ludicrous, really, and then the save itself was also ludicrous. I mean, it was just it was a 3 seconds of football that was befitting a much higher level than the National League North, wasn't it? It was absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think most fans will say the most important thing is 3 points, and however you get to those 3 points in the end, it kind of doesn't matter. In a week's time, nobody's going to care. It's just going to look like a win over Warrington, and that's what we had to do. So yeah, no, it was really, really pleasing, and I was pleased for everybody.
We've had plenty of times in the past over many years where we've not managed to break down teams like that. Obviously they get a man or two sent off, and it is all backs to the wall, isn't it? And they try and hold on for that point there. It's not the easiest thing to overcome, is it? So it was really good to get, like, as you say, no one's going to look back and note the performance or how it happened. They're gonna see the 3 points, which of course lifted us up to a lofty 5th place in the table.
Yeah, no, it's early days still. I know we're halfway through, but we all know this league's mental, isn't it? So there's so much can happen in the second half of the season. So in some ways you shouldn't be focusing too much on the league table, but you can't get away from the fact it's really nice to actually be looking. In the old days, it's nice to be looking on the top page in CFAX, isn't it? Not having to go onto wait for the bottom page to drop down. So yeah, no, it's nice to see us in 5th position. Clearly, we've played more games than most of the other teams around us, but it's points on the board. It's much better to be where we are currently. I think it's probably above where we all expected to be at this point in time. But it's just, it's interesting. You can see the impact. I mean, the players have done brilliantly, but you just see the impact that getting somebody like Jason Cowley back has had in terms of the difference he's made in terms of our sort of cutting edge and attacking threat. So yeah, no, nice to see. Still a long way to go. We've all got to keep our feet on the ground and keep working hard, and all those boring football cliches that we'll all repeat a number of times. But yeah, no, it's really good to see. And on the bigger picture, obviously, the win last night was dedicated by the manager to Lasana Mendez and Lasana's family because of the bereavement that they suffered over the weekend. And it was nice. I thought it was a really nice gesture of the lads with his shirt and a nice photo in the dressing room. And on behalf of everybody at the club, we send our best wishes to Las and his family. And he'll be given the time if he needs time, and he'll be given any time he needs to just sort of look after himself and his family over the next few days and weeks.
Yeah, I know Paul's obviously giving him all the support he can, and but it just shows how close knit that group of players have got in a relatively short space of time as well.
Yeah, and Lass is such an infectious character, isn't he? In fairness, he's got a brilliant smile, and he's a real upbeat figure around the place. So yeah, no, I think when Paul mentioned it to me at the weekend, it also put the result against Scunthorpe into perspective a little bit for him, for the manager himself, and you reflect on it, don't you, and go, actually, it's only a game of football at the end of the day. But we'll look after him. I'm sure Paul and the lads will look after him and get around him and stuff. And we'll look forward to seeing him whenever he feels he wants to be around the place again.
Obviously, Saturday we're back in FA Trophy action, where we entertain South Park. We released obviously the ticket prices earlier this week, which we've gone for the usual league advance price with no increase on the day, and we've also listened to supporter feedback, and we're opening the Len Weston stand as well, aren't we?
Yeah, people, we made the decision for the previous round to not open the Len Weston stand and reduce the prices a little bit to, as a gesture to supporters. I wouldn't say we had any complaints about the Len Weston stand not being open, but you do get people who want to sit there or stand there. They sit there and stand there all the time. And a few people have made contact and sort of saying they'd rather have it open. And we're happy to do that. That brings a little bit of an extra cost, which is reflected in the prices. We've done the offer on the last 3 home games to try and offer assistance to supporters, with that 10% reduction across those 3 games, the 3 games ticket wins, which went well. And again, we don't make decisions about admission prices without giving it a great deal of thought. But again, we've said it several times on these calls, and it's an expensive ground to open. If we're opening the Len Weston stand, that brings into operation more stairwells and more exits and all that sort of stuff. So the stewarding costs automatically go up. So, we've done that. We've obviously not going to do an increase in price. It will just be the one price across the board with no match day increase no increase on the day, and you know, it is what it is in terms of where we are, but we think it's the right thing to do. Again, you know, having done the reduction from the previous round, but we will, again, depending on what happens, we'll continually review, and the FA Trophy games gives us the opportunity to think about match day prices a little bit more, and we'll continue to do that as long as we remain in the competition.
You touched on the 3-game ticket that we did, that obviously gave a 10% reduction for those supporters purchasing all 3. And as you say, it went down really well, quite popular for the first time that we've done something like that. And I think it's safe to say that where fixtures allow, we'll try and kind of maybe do something similar in the new year as well, in the second half of the season.
Yeah, we you know, yeah, none of us are blind to how difficult it is time-wise at the moment, and you know, we're going into December, that pre-Christmas period where everybody wants something, don't they? And you're trying to find money to buy gifts and all that sort of stuff generally. And I thought 1,750 was it approximately last night. I thought it was an excellent crowd for a Tuesday night early in December. And you know, so thanks to everybody once again for the brilliant support. I was laughing with the manager this morning. It does feel a little bit like we've been playing at home every other day for a little while. So, and it probably feels even worse for you lot. You lot are there at the club on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, no, it was an excellent crowd last night. And clearly we've got Saturday in the FA Trophy, and then we've got the Tenbury United game on the Tuesday night, which is obviously a different level of fixture. But again, it still takes a bit of work to get everything in order for that. So yeah, thanks again for the continued support. We'll continue to try and think of ways to sort of give something back to supporters if we possibly can, as long as we're not, you know, not at the expense of the club's funding and that sort of stuff. But yeah, and I think the 3-game click ticket was your idea, Jamie Griffiths, on this occasion. It was a really good one, so we went with it, and it was well received, which was good.
And another thing we brought out is the half season ticket as well, and that's gone down really well early on. A great Christmas present, or you know, if you find yourself coming along to most of the games during the first half of the season, and you know, it gives you a good saving for the second half, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it starts on New Year's Day, doesn't it, against Gloucester, Gloucester, and then it covers the 11th that game and the 10 fixtures after that, and you know, I think it's a good £40 plus saving on it, rather than coming to every single game, which is really, really good. I think actually we've got a product so far at Edgar Street that would inspire you to try and make the effort to come along more often, which is quite nice and heartening. And even, you know, we had as much action in the first half last night as we've seen in some considerable time, haven't we? So it's all been happening, really. It's certainly not been dull. So yeah, they are a really good season. They would be a really good Christmas present, those season tickets. And I know you could argue we've probably done more than we expected to, sold more than we expected to already, and that's really, really, really pleasing that people are looking to get on board and back us, which is great.
Yeah, I think it just shows, you know, the faith, I guess, that the fans have in the players to put in performances, and I think everyone appreciates we're never going to win every game, but we've kind of made Edgar Street a little bit of a fortress so far this season, haven't we? And I think that kind of reflects in people actually willing to put their hand in their pocket and get their half season tickets.
Yeah, I think the absolutely key point for me is, you know, even on Saturday, and a day like Saturday, which was hugely disappointing, the players never stopped running. They never stopped trying right till the final whistle, even when realistically the game was probably done, you know, in that last 10, 15 minutes. They never stopped trying and kept going. And you know, you can feel and see the bond between the stands, terraces, and the field of play, which is absolutely brilliant. So, you know, we can be proud of their efforts, and I think people are seeing that and want to get behind the lads, which is how it should be. I said to the lads at the start of the season, all football fans want to see, and all Hereford fans want to see, they want to leave the ground thinking they've watched a group of players who really care, and there's absolutely no doubt that this group of players really care, which is absolutely brilliant.
Just finally, we talk about the club shop. Obviously, it's gone really well lately. We're trying our best to keep up with demand. Basically, that's the biggest issue at the minute, is when we bring new stock in, it doesn't stay around for too long. So we've got more stock arriving this week. We've just had a big delivery of junior stuff that's going really well: hoodies, coats, and t-shirts. We've got more adult polos and hoodies and coats coming in later this week. So really positive, I think. on that side of things, and thank supporters for kind of supporting the club shop. On the sad side, the negative side is we've kind of been let down with our order of replica home shirts that we kind of put in October, ready for delivery at the start of December, and the supplier issues, which it's not just us that are facing that, it's a number of clubs. Sadly, it looks like we're not going to get that stock in before Christmas, which is a big blow for us and a big blow for the fans.
Yeah, incredibly frustrating, really. I mean, there's no point dwelling on it too much because it's completely out of our control. Nothing we can do about it. The order was placed in plenty of time, well, in more than plenty of time to get what we needed for the Christmas sales period, and for a number of reasons on the supplier's side, it's just not going to. It doesn't look like it's going to come through for us. So it is frustrating because clearly those home replica shirts have been incredibly popular and would be a brilliant Christmas present potentially, but they'll land at some point hopefully, and then we can get them on sale and hopefully people still be up for buying them. But in the meantime, you've worked really hard trying to go through stock, trying to get some really good lines into the club shop, and you've been sharing them with me excitedly, and I've been trying to think of ways to keep both my kids out of the club shop as much as I possibly can, to be honest with you. So yeah, there's some really great stuff. The kids stuff that's just been in the shop now, the coats, hoodies and t-shirts and things are fantastic and look really good. And obviously we're going to get the adult equivalent to some of that sort of stuff and other lines as well. So you're doing a brilliant job stocking the shop. John Sadler's doing a great job running the shop, if you like, and on a match day basis and a weekday as a volunteer, bless him. So yeah, no, it's a real success story of the shop. Obviously there is a disappointment in terms of the lack of replica home shirts for the Christmas sales period, but there are still adult away shirts in there, so there are shirts that can be bought. And like I said, the shirts will come hopefully sometime after Christmas. It's just frustrating they're not here for this period, and it would have been nice to have them because we're obviously doing some late night opening, aren't we, on the 3 Wednesdays prior to Christmas, and it would have been nice to have them. But I would say to fans, don't let it discourage you, because there is still plenty of other good stock in there that will make the perfect stocking fillers and things like that.
Yeah, talking about late night shopping, every Wednesday before Christmas and on the 13th, which is next Wednesday, we're going to do a bit of a meet and greet with some of the players, and Paul's going to be there. So we'll announce more details later. But when I mentioned it to Paul, he kind of jumped at the opportunity. He thought it was really good, a great opportunity for the players and himself to chat with the fans and kind of ahead going into the Christmas run of games. So it'd be great to see plenty of people there next Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be a good opportunity to sort of get some more personalised gifts, won't it? If there's a few players around and the manager there to sign things and that sort of stuff, it's a really good opportunity. And it's really nice. And Paul's really embraced the need and to be in among the communities down at, he's here a lot, isn't he? And we after training on a Thursday, he stays over, and he's around the club on a Friday, which is absolutely brilliant. And he's really engaging, and he's really embraced the whole thing, which is absolutely fantastic. And it does, again, it makes a huge difference. And again, that's all been part of what I think the bond that's been formed between the sort of management staff, the playing staff and the supporters. Once again, it's really been rebuilt really well, which is great.
Brilliant. Right, well, we'll leave it there, and I'll see you on Saturday for the trophy.
I was just going to ask one other question, actually. It's a question for me. Do we know anything about Gloucester tickets as of yet, or anywhere? Because I'm wondering people might be starting to ask about Gloucester away tickets.
Yeah, we had the conversation yesterday. We haven't heard anything off Gloucester with regards to tickets yet. No.
Okay, perfect. That's headed off another question that we might have got over the next few days, for now, anyway.
Yeah, as soon as we hear, we'll put something out. But we were speaking to the police yesterday. Jim Phillips, the DFO, came in, and we've not heard anything. Nick has asked a question, but I'm sure it will be in the next week or so that we'll get some details on that.
Excellent. Watch this space, I guess.
But while we talk about Gloucester, you can book the away travel. Obviously, go online, book the official away travel for the Gloucester game. I know that's going really well. So if you want to go on the official travel, get your booking in now before you're disappointed.
Yeah, fabulous excuse to get out of the house on Boxing Day, isn't it? In fairness, get yourselves down to Gloucester and support the boys. That'd be tremendous.
Brilliant. Well, see you Saturday, and hopefully we get the win in the trophy.
Absolutely. Cheers, mate.
See ya.